Thank you, Mr. Gibson.
I'll ask the colleagues to please turn their lights on.
Thank you. Just one quick question. Thank you for this
receive information from the presenters, receive information in terms of exchanging information with other school teams, do some planning themselves there, and then the expectation is they take that back to their school and implement it.
Perfect. That's it. Thank you so much.
Ms. Harris.
Yep. Could you give me a quick example or two? You said now the school improvement plans include well-being and climate and culture goals. Can you give me an example of a goal and a metric?
Certainly. So we provided last year and are doing so again a series of data metrics both within the well-being area as well as the climate area. So for the climate, for example.
We are here to disrupt this meeting to call out anti-blackness in MCPS public schools this month.
Shame on all of you all. I wrote every single one of you about my son and black boys who have been beaten, called nigger in class, choked at Hoover Middle School, and none of you responded.
No.
You should all be held liable for Title VI civil rights violations as well as criminal negligence.
The board will take a recess. Thank you.
My son is traveling to go to school. My 14.
Grace Rivera. Oh, Miss Rivera. Grace Rivera. I love her. That's why I know her.
But we got to record it. They got only asked to go to the front. I just
Yeah.
Make sure you're sharing it. We will start to share video. We will start to share video. I cannot believe they just got up and walked out. They literally got up and walked out like that. Except for one, and I acknowledge her.
Miss Rivera.
Miss Rivera.
She said.
Why would they please? I don't know.
Fear? Of course they would be. They're scared.
Yeah. Of what?
The people.
Why didn't you got people? We don't want to listen.
Scared of your own people. Tiffany, you just saw the Black Miss Leadership class in action. When confronted by Black revolutionaries and Black liberators, they do what they do, what they're trained to do, and follow the lead of the white supremacist bootlickers. Get up and walk out on your own. They don't care about us. That's why it's time for us to truly understand that we're at that point where liberation movements can no longer simply be a check on power. They now must become the power. You know?
Yes.
Dr. Felder wants to talk to two of us, me and somebody else. I actually think she needs to talk to these two mothers. Yeah. These are the two mothers that have these main issues that's going on.
Listen, y'all.
If y'all need us, text me.
Go for it.
Call or text.
We'll be right here. Keep your phone on.
Yeah.
Keep your phone on. Sorry, with the flyer.
I was passing one out and I said, here it goes. I can give it to him. We're like, you got most of them.
How you doing?
But then he's like, you can't finish.
Sorry, your attention.
Hi, I didn't want to interrupt you when you were in there, but I did want to come outside. I think my colleague was next. She's not now. My name is Stephanie Sharon, and I'm the Chief of Strategic Initiatives with the district. some of the work that my office does, and a lot of people don't know what that means, is the Equity Initiatives Unit and the Anti-Racist Audit all falls under my purview.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yes, I recognized some of the faces here, so I was just curious to know that. Oh, did you recognize my face? Yes, I do. I didn't see you. I'm just what prompted this particular?
What prompted everybody to leave?
Yeah, who is?
What'd you say?
What prompted everybody to leave when we come in?
When they went on recess?
No.
When they called the recess.
They got to turn their backs on us. That's going to be the narrative that we can tell. And yeah, Ms. And I acknowledge her. And I acknowledge her.
We are here.
There's only one person who
We
stayed.
are here because of the anti-blackness that is created within this system that goes unshaped and unaddressed. We are constantly in this. We're on every committee. I'm the chair of the county's anti-hate task force of Black cohort. These parents that you saw coming, they've had girls go through Hoover Middle School.
Yeah, that's what I was curious.
I've been at Hoover Middle School. The anti-blackness there, you can taste it. Peter Moran knows. I have talked to the principal about their anti-blackness. They continue to antagonize those black boys. They punish them in a manner that's completely different than how they punish white children. Julia's son has been called nigger. He was assaulted.
Oh, the one that went inside?
Yes. Yeah. He was physically assaulted, and the CEO said, guess what? I have LGBTQ students that have gone through worse, frankly. It got so bad, she was so concerned that she withdrew her son from school.
Since April 15th, she's homeschooled.
This is from Hoover?
Yes.
The principal needs to go.
Ruth's son has been suspended and treated so badly that his grades have plummeted, but most recently, the school security guard asked him when was he going to stop acting like a bitch. Yes. I was done.
Yes.
At that
This
moment,
is MCPS.
I was done. I have sat in on recorded IEP meetings. They have invited people that are abusive to her to come to these meetings. It needs to stop. And nobody's paying attention. I'm tired of meetings. I don't have time. And my son, 6 months after I moved here, had police called on him for having play money on a school bus. And that was national.
I remember that.
It has been disgusting and nobody is stopping it. And what's most important to me is that they've had girls to go through the system, but nobody's got treatment like their boys and my
And black boys.
Yeah,
and that's why
if I may add something real quick, I went to MCPS 14 years ago. I graduated back in 2010. Some of these kids, I mentor Tiffany's son, and I'm also mentor Amir and Asada. The anti-blackness when I was at MCPS was bad. But from talking to them and talking to some of these kids I mentored, it seems that's gotten from bad to worse. And it's
Today,
hard.
I had a young man who had 4 security guards called on him because he didn't want to
Over
give
a
up his
fucking
cell
cell
phone.
phone.
Yeah.
4 security guards, and this is a special needs child.
So Stephanie,
Yes, and so
these
we've
things
been.
are well documented in his will. With Ms. Kim, they've had back and forth correspondence. Peter Moran has been involved. So nothing has been done. And it's so egregious that for her son's own physical and mental health, Miss Julia had to take her son out of school and homeschool him. Not that she could afford to do that, not that her job was flexible enough to do that, but for her son's safety and his social and emotional well-being. And so they have gone through all of the channels that MCPS recommends.
Yes.
All of
We've done it all.
We've done
We
the
are the
forums.
connected parents. We're the ones in meetings monthly with Shauna K. All of this.
And on various committees and advisory councils.
Like we doing what y'all tell us
And
to do to make
then
things
doesn't
better.
stop with
And
the
nothing
students.
is getting better.
We have black fathers here who are telling the same stories. We have people here that canvas within the communities hearing the same stories. So it is not just siloed to us. I just happen to have the
It's
stories
endemic.
from Hoover. But we have people here that have touched people that are saying school is a problem for their children and for them, especially single black fathers.
Yes.
It has been horrible.
They have no respect for the parents, no respect for black people at all, and we're sick of it. Like I said, we are the parents that are connected, but we also have people in the community who trust us. They come tell us their experiences. And again, like I said, we've been meeting with Shauna K, who we actually
She's
love
faithful.
personally, and she's faithful.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, because my thing is like, do y'all have any damn control over y'all principals? Because the principals don't give a F at all. Like it's like they are in power and have nobody to report to. I mean, it's tiring. It's just unacceptable. Y'all can't say on one hand, oh, you know, we're about equity and all this, but then when black children are being harmed, nobody does anything about it. That's not acceptable. We have black children. Do you realize that black boys, black adolescent boys, have a higher suicide rate in Montgomery County? And we have a lower black population than Prince George's and Baltimore County, but the highest is here.
19%.
Okay, so that tells us there's something very toxic about Montgomery County when it comes to black children. And we're all sick of it. We're really tired of it. And these institutions who get $3.3 billion from all of us who are taxpayers, we don't pay y'all to hate on our kids and treat them in dehumanized ways. This is not, we're not going to put up with it, period. It's just not going to happen. So these families have filed complaints with the Civil Rights Department. We know how long it takes, but there's also attorneys being involved because we cannot continue to let black children just get swept under the rug and be treated inhumanely.
Our considerations are different than every other minority group.
Yes.
No other group has the history of violence that our country does, but we lump it in as minority. We need a black task force. We need targeted folks, especially when the Maryland Board of Education has identified there's a problem with how black children are perceived in these schools. We're not just coming out of nowhere. There's data and there's statute. The OLO report that just came.
Like there's so much evidence.
And we continue to do minority. We need black focused efforts.
I think the major problem here that we have right now, this meeting that's being held right now is a public meeting. The public are allowed to access to it. But when the public come forward to speak, and the very people that are elected into office turn their back on the public, then my question is, why do we need you? Can we have you replaced? If you don't want to listen to the public, then get out of the job. Let's find people who can do the job. But my challenge that I'm having now is that the hurt that's causing you going home to sleep tonight, because your kids are living off a salary that's very conducive to your lifestyle. Whereas our children, must be left to suffer while your kids sleep. That's unfair. Totally unfair. In fact, it's even unconstitutional. But at the end of the day, we find ourselves in a dilemma where they don't have the audacity to come out here and address us. They send two ladies from the whole group that's sitting there, and they can peek their nose up.
I was in the audience.
I'm just saying. What I'm saying to you is that they bring one representative to represent the voice of everybody here, which is extremely insulting. Extremely insulting.
But it makes sense.
But by the way, we pay a salary.
But this is the smoke. This is just the smoke.
Yep.
There are fires burning all over this district.
Yes.
Poor, disabled, black. They're burning everything.
So this was not what everybody wanted to do.
No.
It became a dire necessity in order to happen. This is not what anybody wanted to do. Nobody wanted to do this. In fact, people were very scared of real repercussions that happen as a result of this to their children that they can't really point to and say that this is why, but they know because they've been through this and this is why, right? So nobody wanted to interrupt the BOE meeting. But after going through all the channels and doing everything that MCPS says that you should do, and they've done those things, and still no help, no reprieve for their children, and no safety, then they had to resort to this. Then we had to resort to this. This is a result. And so we're hoping that there's not lip service, but that there's real move for change. So the immediate and long-term plan. But immediate because our children are suffering, and they need immediate reprieve. And so we need to know from MCPS what are the options that you're going to bring to the table. Real options that will really move the needle forward. Not another committee.
What are the penalties?
No committees, no task force.
MCPS, they don't practice what they preach. Even on the elementary school levels, I got two little elementary school age girls. They were, myself, I had a situation where one of my daughters was fighting another student. They didn't tell me about it. I get a call from the nurse's office stating, oh, your daughter had a scratch. After school, I come get my daughter. I get jumped by the parents of the other children, of the other child. I wasn't informed of nothing. So I'm thinking, what happened? Your daughter fought my daughter. I'm like, I wasn't informed about that. The admins, no one told me. Not even the nurse. This just recently happened. This wasn't a long time ago. I had the emails. I sent a long email that Tiffany Kelly had to edit for me. I talked to the principal. I said, why didn't you do this? Principal, I don't know. Vice principal, I don't know. Admins, I don't know. But you know who did know? The other parent. And guess what skin color that other parent was?
Right.
I'm not gonna point out no fingers. I'm just saying it as it is. Only for the next day, they fought again. So I'm wondering what happened. The teachers. I asked my daughter what happened. Oh, they just made us hug and sit on the other side of the classroom. But they always talking about MCPS. We got restorative justice. We got this. Only for my daughters to fight again. For another kid. And didn't inform me at all. And I got on the emails. And when I asked them, why did you do this? I don't fucking know. I'm supposed to just take it like that.
No.
Oh well, two little black girls, single father, that's just how it is.
It's a buildup of trauma. It's literally a buildup. Black children deserve.
You gotta understand. I can't talk for the middle schoolers. I can't talk for the high schoolers. I'm gonna talk for myself. Even though that supposedly is done, taken care of, it was swept under the rug. The whole process. They didn't want to inform me of nothing. Zero.
MCPS, if they're serious, they would clean house. Y'all know who the fucked up principals and teachers are in this district. Every district knows.
Could you tell me what could have been the repercussions of that? Was there any repercussions at all from that one situation? And I have lots of evidence.
They can't be. They still there. They still got
NCPS
jobs.
needs an outside entity to come in and seriously expose the practices that need to change. There is no system of accountability. The one system that I know of was Shauna K, where she looks at the data to identify where a student never should have been suspended. But we shouldn't even be there because you know how to read just like I do. I went to a school today where I was told if you are caught with a cell phone, that's automatic cheating per the code of conduct, and you get an automatic zero. I pushed back and I said, that doesn't make sense, show me. And it wasn't even there. So those are the things that we're seeing. There is no accountability. MCPS is too big. It cannot police itself, but it continues to try to. You need outside help. You are not the experts on race. I applaud you for being educators, but that's your lane, and you should stay there. Trying to address fights and hate and special ed and after COVID, you cannot do it. You need some help. Quit trying to be a one-trick pony.
And we have offered resources for help. Shauna K knows we've dropped so many organizations and names and ideas, and thankfully they did finally this year move forward and brought in one person that we have been telling them about for years.
The whole school system, one person.
But that one office, that is one program office. We need an overall shift in the. Amy Smith dogged me out, hung up the phone.
What's Amy Smith?
She's in special ed compliance.
Okay.
My son has an IEP. I have to get extra help that I have to pay for. Amy Smith did her investigation without talking to me and told me what they weren't going to do. I said, please reply to me in writing. I'm not going to do that. I said, excuse me, why not? I've already told you what we're going to do, and proceeded to hang up on me. Her supervisor called me and said, well, I don't believe that that's the typical narrative. It doesn't matter. When people get victimized, the first thing you hear is, I can't believe that they would do that because they haven't done that to me. Well, she did it to me. And I've talked to other people. I'm now finding out that she does it to them. She was far too comfortable dismissing me. Where's the accountability? All he could say is, well, I will now reply to your email. And this was a week ago. It's disgusting.
So Stephanie, what next steps can we expect?
So I'm just trying to be an active listener and
know
not
it's a lot.
go into action mode because I really want to listen and learn from what you're sharing. But what I can say is I haven't read this document yet. I'm assuming that a lot of the things that you want to see changed are in here.
And that's not exhaustive. It's not exhaustive,
but this is a start of what you're saying. So what I would like to do is take this back to our internal teams, and I'm saying teams in plural because there's more than one person, and as you noted, and this is, we acknowledge this. I mean, I think a lot of times in MCPS, being as large as we are, sometimes we operate in silos, right? Instead of working all together. I mean, we've worked a lot together, and we've noticed that.
But the difference here is there's not been any reprieve for our children.
Right.
No.
Right.
So you know, I mean,
We didn't
how
talk
can our
all-
kids
all
show up?
year.
How can the data move in terms of math and literacy proficiency if they don't feel safe where they're supposed to be cared for over 8 hours a day? If their parents don't feel safe sending them there, right? You cannot show up to learn if you're not safe.
Right.
Yeah, what we
And
are
so-
asking.
So I thank you for you know, looking at that with your internal teams. But what can we expect in terms of some sort of movement, some sort of meeting, you know, some timeline?
So again, this is the first time I'm observing this. So, Wale, is it okay if I communicate back because I have your email address or whoever?
She can move us in.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So, give me a couple days to process this, and then I'll reach back out to you, and then if we share the email addresses, we can
I'll
loop
send
in
it to you.
about having a deeper meeting.
And
I think a
just wanna
deeper
be clear
meeting
that-
will be necessary.
Yeah, and I just want to be clear that I'm here as Wailea Chase,
Yes.
not as a part of any organization.
No.
entity.
Yep.
Well,
Absolutely.
I am here as the co-chair of the anti-hate black cohort of the county council.
I'm here in a
I am
variety of
here
capacities. I'm an MCPS mother, and I'm the co-founder and co-executive director for Racial Justice Now. And I've been working with this district around policy and practice change as an organization, specifically for Black children and their families.
And we have several organizations represented here who
Yes.
stand in support as well.
That's
Fusion
right.
for Justice, everyday canvassing.
Silver Spring Justice School.
Silver Spring Justice.
Yeah, please tell me. I'd like to hear the other groups. I saw the Jews United for Justice.
Bethesda African Cemetery Coalition, Racial Justice Now, and DSA, a host of other organizations.
And this was done in one day. Please don't make me come back. Because if I come back, it's going to be triple this.
I'm a former Herbert Hoover and Churchill, and I'm not surprised. It was hell going to school.
I have neighbors that tell me the same thing.
If you don't
Everybody knows.
100%, why you
Hoovers are
forget
this.
it?
And I can pull more
And
families
this
if
is
you
how
need.
many, I don't even want to say how many years ago that was, okay? Much longer than when you were there. And then when Tiffany called me, sadly, I wasn't even surprised.
Nobody is. I have neighbors that are computer science with the smartest black children I've ever seen in my life. They said the worst experience they ever had was in that cluster. And they're 26.
Yeah. All we're asking, for you to do is not just hear our concerns, but come up with some tangible policies that are going to be concrete. We don't want another task force.
No more forums.
We don't want another
No more
committee.
forums.
We don't want another forum or town hall. We've been town hall and forum to death. We need action. We need results.
Right.
Because as Sakia said, our children, our black boys, our black girls are dying. They're killing themselves. And there's something sad when people 15, 16 years old who instead of being full of hope feel like the only way they can escape racism is death.
Or drug use.
Or drug use, yeah.
It's all connected.
It's all connected, yeah. We don't, like I said, we want tangible.
Those moms are talking about in there, one of those boys, or maybe both of them, have started having accidents on himself in school. Went from being an A student to just a scared student who cannot perform and doesn't know what's coming around the next corner. And for the principal and for the security guard who is tasked with keeping them safe and educating them, to totally ignore him, it's devastating to a parent.
And both of those children are attending Hoover.
And your son was at Hoover.
And they're just two. They're just two of many stories.
Many.
And not just
Over the years.
It's not just
And their parents
we can
council
go down
rep
the line.
quit. Their parents council rep quit because of this anti-blackness. She literally has.
Yeah, the NAACP rep quit.
She quit. And when I took it to the PTA cluster, well, I haven't had that experience.
Yeah, they don't. The only organizations that really give a damn about black kids are in front of you.
So we want to thank you for hearing us.
I want to thank you
We're
for
sorry
sharing.
that we had to be heard in this way, but we're not sorry that we had to come forward because our children are watching us. And
And
we
nobody
trust us
listens
to
to black
protect
people
them.
unless we act in silly. Nobody cares.
So we're here, we thank you, and we're going to wait for
Yeah, we're working on that.
Okay.
And if you need to go.
And I do
thank
want
you
to
for
say,
coming out.
and I want to say thank you. And I'm sorry that you felt like you had that, like you said, you're like we had to share our voices like this because we didn't feel
And
that
I
our
don't
voice
keep
was
it a
getting
secret. I
heard.
tell my son's administration team I can't even give it. You know, like Montgomery County Public Schools. I'm from Florida. I've never experienced anything like this.
Oh
It is
yeah,
horrible.
I'd much rather deal with the Trumps of the world. Easy. This is crazy.
Because at least we know who they
At
are.
least you know who they are.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I grew up in Alabama.
Nobody
and I
trains
am
them with the
clear.
right words.
Right.
Right.
Much rather.
Well, like I said,
Here they
I'm
go.
committed to doing this and reaching back out.
I can't wait to hear the two mothers
Thank
who
you,
went
guys.
inside.
Oh, we were just about to.
No, I was talking
Oh, you were
to
walking.
another mom. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Again, thank you so much, and we'll be in touch.
What was your name again now? Sorry.
Stephanie Sharon.
Okay. Yep. I see her. So, okay, where's our moms? Okay, tell us.
Before we begin, I just want to say thank you all
Thank
so
you everybody
much.
for coming. Seriously.
Thank you. Thank you. You did not have to come out here tonight. I owe y'all a meal. You know what?
Yes, you owe me a meal tonight.
Not exception.
Owe me a meal tonight.
So, Mom.
So yes. Spoke to Dr. Felder and to Dana Edwards. And just convey what has happened to our sons. Yeah, and also that we've been through the steps because we have done everything. We've talked to the principal, we talked to Dr. Moran, Dr. Campbell, the whole thing. And she said that they would investigate. I don't have a lot of hope in that because we have followed through again the steps.
Oh, I got hope because I told them
It's been investigated to death.
It's going it ain't
So-
really
so
been
that's-
investigated.
Well, so that's what she
They're
said
gonna
that they're going to do.
Oh yeah, they're gonna do something, but the something is what.
Well, the something has to be acceptable to you.
Exactly.
right.
To you.
Because
Not
the
their
harm has been
acceptable.
done to our kids.
That's right.
Physically and
And you
mentally.
need to be
Right,
yes.
mentally.
That's right. And I am so glad. that
All right, how are you
able
both
to
right now?
express that.
I mean,
I'm hopeful.
forget the question.
It's
I
a
am
huge
glad
weight
for
to
the
carry.
support.
So,
Yeah, I'm glad for the support, but I do worry about our sons
Absolutely. Of course you do. Of course you
and
do.
any other black boys
That's right.
in
We know
CPS.
that this is going to help our black kids because unfortunately, like you said, Jill, I've been hearing stories about the W schools.
Oh,
yes,
Okay, for years
And I was
in
in
Montgomery
Churchill
County, and
Foster
people know it,
also, so-
and
Yes,
people know it.
Everybody knows it.
I got a bunch of horror stories in my
Everybody
time.
knows it.
Yeah,
Everybody knows about
people
that.
know it.
The elite schools, I will tell anybody, don't put
Listen.
your child in an elite school.
Thank you for showing up.
Yeah.
Thank you for showing up.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you. Thank you so much for showing up.
We used to call
But
up
the
witnesses
elite
for white
schools in this county treat the black kids the worst. When my son went to Gaithersburg Middle School, which by no means is elite, complete change. He saw himself reflected in his teachers and in the student body. Completely different. But that school is not considered a good school. But it was good for my son.
Absolutely.
I would never put him back anywhere near a Chevy Chase or a Potomac. You couldn't pay
and
me.
never.
You couldn't pay me.
Never.
That's
Right.
Tiffany, thank you so much for coordinating this effort.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank y'all. 'Cause I
Thank
was
you all
just-
for showing up.
I sent them an email saying, y'all, I'm tired. And that was the whole email. I said, we've got to do something different. I'm tired
And
of
it had to be
being
drastic.
called.
It just
It had to be.
we didn't try every other avenue.
Absolutely.
Literally, and Tiffany knows, Rachel doesn't now literally meet with
Every
these higher ups.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They can't miss a meeting. She's
Yes.
back
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
You've been on.
I'm on the calls with y'all.
Yeah.
So it's like,
You only
And
missed
I've been appointed to various committees.
I done been appointed to all kinds
You're
of
on a
committees.
committee.
The anti.
Everybody's on a committee.
Well, everybody deserves a round of applause.
Yes.
We're just beginning. We're just beginning. Stay the course. Stay the course. And let's continue to support each other.
They will be held
And
accountable.
I thank you all so much. And Mom,
thank you, Tiffany.
This one here, baby, been working.
So no, the
Absolutely.
narrative really needs to be
Okay.
because you all witness these motherfuckers get up and turn their back on us and walk out.
Turn your backs.
And I'm so glad we got it recorded.
Does anybody have video?
yeah, yeah, Tina was recording.
I'm still recording.
Yeah, Tina was recording. And
Yes.
I was on the phone.
Yeah, you can see it.
So I want you all to know that there is an after, there's a petition, some of you may have gotten this.